Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. And joining me through StreamYard, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our producer, Edgelord. Big news, Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
Sup, nerds?
Hey, we're back after a week. Sorry we missed last week. Time literally got away from all of us. So we had to skip a week, but we're back, baby. We're still covering One Piece, so don't worry, kids. We're doing last week's One Piece, and we are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen this week because we can't not do that. So worry not. But first, how are you guys doing? You guys doing okay? You guys chilling?
Chilling.
Yeah, man. Everything's good. I've been having a lot of fun reading Ichi the Witch, but I'll get into that, I guess, after your tier list.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have many updates to the tier list. I haven't caught up on Nue's and Roboco yet. I'm still working on that. The only thing that will be updated is that Jujutsu Kaisen is no longer part of the magazine and thus can no longer be part of the tier list. And I suppose when we get to the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, I guess I'll reveal the final standing of Modulo. So we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, that's it. Do you any other updates, or should we just jump right into it, dogs?
Let's jump right in.
Let's jump right into it, dogs. Here we go. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1176 from last week. Chapter title is With Pride. We open with a 2-page spread that's colored. This is actually a recreation of volume 12 that I actually really like. Because it now includes...
You know that because you own the volume?
I know that because I own the volume, and also I am obsessed and have a lot of worthless information in my head about One Piece. But this is a redrawing of volume 12, and this time it just includes all of the Straw Hats. Last time we saw this cover was actually like, it's basically the Rogue Town volume. So yeah, this was a cool reimagining of it. I like it a lot. It will probably make a cool poster. I like Frankie's pose in particular. It looks really cool because he's using...
Oh, yeah.
He was where Usopp used to be, and they're both doing Usopp's pose during that volume, which is kind of cool. But yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wish I could do a side-by-side of the two volumes. It looks really cool. Anyway, getting into the chapter proper, last we left off, Loki had arrived and started fucking shit up, and Zoro had gone on to fight the possessed giants. The other Straw Hats have recently broken out of their shackles thanks to Sanji. And we open this chapter with Vegapunk going in... Oh, well, not Vegapunk. Well, it is Vegapunk, but it's Lilith Vegapunk going through her trunk of cool inventions. And she pulls out the ODC, the Omni Drain Converters. And she's like, this hover function should work on Elbeth because there's energy everywhere here. And then she turns over to Frankie and asks him if he's ever run off of more potent fuel than cola. I just noticed Bonnie is on Frankie's head, which is kind of cool. So yeah, fire is spreading. Usopp is, scared and concerned because like Luffy is just on a random dragon's back. He doesn't know who Loki is, I don't think. So he's just very confused about the situation. And the other Straw Hats have immediately gone into action to stop the burning of the library. Nami summons Zeus in a giant rain cloud and starts to put out the fire that way. But Killingham has other plans. He uses one of his sleep tids, the Lindworm, to basically chomp on Zeus and eat him. he is currently inside the Lindward's sleep tid. Vegapunk launches the OCD thing that she has and uses it to absorb all of the heat energy, all of the fire, and essentially freeze the library. So, yay, saves the day. She then grabs the OCD, shoves a cola bottle into it, and just gives it to Frankie, saying that try this. It's Super Vega Cola. Your innards are immaculately designed, just as advanced as pacifistas, which is why I was stunned to learn you only use cola to power yourself. And she goes, you see, Frankie, fuel is passion. Use this stuff and your raw power will explode. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Frankie power up.
This little upgrade. Was those the flames that was absorbed?
Yeah.
Put into this cola bottle?
Yeah. It converted into energy and put in the cola bottle.
I thought she was just going to give him like gas or like fossil fuels or something.
Nah, it's just cola, but with fire energy.
Wow.
Meanwhile, killing him is just, going off of a huge spiel. He's like, devour the library, sleep tid. Only when history is ended can the new world come about. Jinbei is on his way to rescue Zeus. And killing him is immediately like, ew, a fish, man. The ugliest species in the world. I'm going to puke. And Sanji pulls up, is like, hey, don't be a fucking racist. For being a fucking racist, I think you need a hole in that mask of yours. At the same time, Frankie just catapults himself out from the ground. He's feeling super duper strong. He's like, any monster I unleash on is gonna cry uncle after a single punch. And then we see Frankie, Jinbei, and Sanji all load up their techniques at the same time. Jinbei and Frankie absolutely destroyed the sleep tid in one blow. And Frankie lands a concasseur crush on Killingham's head, flattening it like a can of soda and breaking through the helmet. So pretty sick.
I hope he's dead. He should be dead.
Yeah.
Look at his
Oh yeah.
spine, his like neck, spine, skull.
Yeah.
It's accordion.
It's like this can of soda that we're not sponsored by.
Yeah.
Don't get any ideas. We're not sponsored by them. So I won't be saying what it is. Anyway, we cut back to Zoro, who is dealing with the Domi Reversi giants. They can't be killed, so it's been having a tough time. In a moment of weakness, Dory and Brogy managed to talk to each other. They're like, "Are you in there, bro?" Dory, just barely, Brogy. And they're talking about how they're deeply ashamed for having themselves being taken over. And they're just like, I'm living through my deepest shame. If I were to take Ja Rule's head, it would shame my family for generations. And they're like, so we're in agreement, of course. And then they wind up their weapons and they behead each other with the last bit of willpower that they had. Yeah, very much so.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
And with that, Dory and Brogy were undomi reversied and are reverted back to their regular forms. Very cool. And now they're standing alongside the new giant pirates, Hajrudin and Stenson, I believe this guy is. And Zoro is also with them in the big 2-page spread where they're working out. They're like, hey, if we just kill these guys, they'll come back to normal. And they're like, and then they're like, oh my God, but they're our friends. We can't do that, can we? Yeah. And Zoro's like, hate to see it. It's a real shame. It pains me on the it's a real heartbreaker. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1176?
Oh man, these giants were so excited and plus Zoro to commit murder. I mean, I can't wait till they chop off the guys with the really long neck. It's gonna be easy.
Oh my target. God, they can't wait.
They might all end up slicing him at the same time because they're probably on every single one of their mind is that's their first target.
Oh, well, we obviously got to get the long neck guy first.
Right. Yeah. He's got to go.
For sure.
He's a stain, on Giant Khan for looking that way.
Why does he have a long neck? He should
It's
die.
OD. He legit looks like a demon for real. Man. Oh, this time I know the streets was talking. I'll let Brian talk about it. I hope he knows what the streets been saying too. But man,
I don't actually. What has the streets been saying?
I'm gonna talk about it. Niggas is mad about Frankie's power up.
I've heard
they're
some
not
street
mad
talk.
at Frankie, but
Really?
they're salty for Usopp.
Yeah, because Usopp still hasn't. One shot. Hasn't one shot Emu by himself because he's on Elbaf.
He didn't have his hockey baptism yet.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're looking for. Hockey communion. So
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me unless I've had my Usopp moment for the morning.
My Usopp on Elbaf moment for the morning.
Yeah. People are like, and it's funny when I say people, I know for a fact these is like it gotta be kids, yo. It's gotta be kids. But they're just like, man, I'm really getting tired of this series, because they're not doing anything for Usopp. They only care about their main character. And I'm just like, wow, yeah, don't read Naruto.
For real.
That'll really get you feeling some type of way. I know I was. But yeah, I'm happy for Frankie. I mean, I ain't even think about Usopp in that way. It's gonna happen or it's not. It's all right. And I hope this. I don't think this is going to be permanent, but I think this is going to maybe lead to Frankie experimenting with more fuel sources than cola, or at least enhancing it, not being afraid to, which could lead to different unique results. Or if he just does this all the time, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah. This is just his gear cycle.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. Yeah. I'll be honest though, like if Frankie had did this before any super cola power up, I would have felt like, yeah, that Frankie could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, like this, I believe him because like Oda's literally telling me that he got an upgrade, but like whatever. I thought Frankie was about that life anyway.
He was.
I just hope any permanent upgrades for Frankie is in the form of him discovering something new, not just this thing that was given to him off the fly. Oh yeah, all these flames that was created. Yeah, had this as a forever power up. That's kind of.
I don't think it'll be a forever because he'd have to recreate it every time.
Yeah.
I feel like people underrate how strong Frankie really is. Like, the dude doesn't really struggle in any fight that he's in. Like, he mopped the floor with whoever he fought on Wano.
I mean, he didn't have to fight.
Yeah, I think he's only ever lost to Kuma.
Why is the name not coming to my name? Yeah. Damn.
He's always been probably one of the most reliable Straw Hats when it comes to like his combat prowess.
Yeah, Frankie is the man.
You think he could have beat Queen though? Or like
he never came across Queen, but I think
he beat King. I think he could beat King.
No.
Right?
I don't know about King. I don't know.
I mean Queen. I meant Queen.
Queen he probably could have beat.
You think he could beat Don Krieg?
And you know what? It speaking of Queen, it just makes me
say Don Krieg.
Well, I don't know, bro. Probably not. To be honest, he had that super
I know
armor.
Mihawks can at least.
Yeah, even Luffy almost lost to Don Krieg. So I don't know.
I wasn't even mad that he wasn't in the Netflix special.
He was. He just got. I think he got murderized like immediately.
Yeah, he did. He got smoked on the beach. He was a product of Mihawk aura forming. Or farming. All right. Anyway, I don't have much more to say specifically. So, Brian, what were your thoughts on this chapter?
I don't have much to say really. Frankie getting his cool power up is pretty awesome because now they have kind of like another monster trio, like another level to it. There's the top three, which is like Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and now they're gonna have Jinbei, Brook, and Frankie as another line of really strong fucking combatants in the crew. And Robin too can hold her own fucking way as well. So it's just
Damn,
like,
who's coming off the bench starting 5? Who's the 6th man?
Chopper, probably?
I think
So Luffy, Zoro.
Although, you know what? Nami did
Sanji.
beat Ulti. She beat a Tobi Roppo.
Let's just establish the starting 5 first.
Okay.
So the big 3, obviously, right?
Yeah, Zoro, Luffy, Sanji.
Jinbei.
Throw Jinbei.
Jinbei, of course.
You need Jinbei, yeah.
I'll throw Jinbei. Warlord, all of that.
Yeah, Jinbei's
Right.
clearly
Who's
he's the center.
Who's the last
Who's
one in
fifth,
and the
though?
first one out? That's what it comes down to.
I would say Frankie. Frankie is starting 5 material. The guy one shot at a
Considering only combat.
bro shot one shot at a vice admiral. That's not nothing. Bro has not struggled since the time skip. Not really.
You know who I'll say? You know who I'll throw in there? Brook. I'm throwing in Brook.
Brook is 6th man.
Really?
Nah, I say Brook is 5th. Because Brook is the only person to fight an Emperor and Emu. In the
Well,
same, like,
Frankie ran over Big Mom's face and lived to tell the tale.
Wait, Brook didn't fight Emu. What are you talking about?
Brook is currently engaged in battle with Emu.
Oh God. All right. So sure. Bonkichi for the win. Nah, so
I vote
I think
Frankie
it's gotta
as the
be
5th.
so personally for me, it's between Frankie and Nami. And I think you got to give it to Frankie over Nami because she's got to be the 6th man.
Frankie, Nami will fight. Nami will fight somebody if she has to.
the thing is, like, you need balance. You need balance. There's not a lot of range here. You need Nami.
What do you mean? Frankie is like a mid and a long range
Nami-
fighter.
But,
And he can get it
Nami-
busy
all
in
right,
the long, close range.
Yeah, but Nami's like a
X factor is
specialized
that she's a
long range.
navigator. Are you guys talking purely combat right now? Or I'm talking about everything
overall
because,
usage?
Frankie's a shipwright.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
talking about overall usage.
And if they didn't have that ship, they wasn't going nowhere.
Well, that's why I would put Frankie.
At least
Frankie is
not as far as they
multi-useful.
need.
But you know what? Then if you're taking everything into account, Chopper was really vital in Wano.
Let me ask you guys
Chopper
because
fought Queen, suplexed him, power bombed
You're
Queen
right.
into the ground, and cured everybody.
in many scenarios as a doctor for sure. And that's aside from the inherent value he brings as an existing doctor on the ship, right? But and then he's had defeats where he's like cured the disease on the fucking spot.
On the spot, created a fucking vaccine.
Genius scientist. So Chopper's a certified genius himself, technically.
Yeah, I
but
think
that's
he
beside the
definitely is.
point. So does me adding their other traits kind of recontextualize the top 5?
It does
for you?
recontextualize it. I think you still need Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, because Sanji is the cook.
I think Zoro, Luffy, Sanji is top 3. And if you want to put Sanji before Zoro,
'Cause
I
Sanji
won't
is a
argue
cook.
you. I'm putting Zoro first. I mean, I'm putting Zoro second though.
He's a multi-use. He has cooking and he fights. He's the 3rd strongest on the crew.
So, yeah. Zoro and Sanji are top 2. Top 3 confirmed. Top 2 and 3 for sure.
Yeah, then I would take Jinbei out because his on the ship utility. Because his on ship utility is not as important as doctor or shipwright.
Well,
That's got to
maybe
minus some
not
points.
as consistently, but being a fisherman, someone that could communicate with other like aquatic creatures,
Yeah.
can go into the water and like, force their way through certain situations. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
That's valuable. And that's aside from the feats he's accomplished with his unique powers, like alone.
He was a former captain, so
former warlord.
former warlord. You can't. I guess you can't take out Jinbei. That leaves
No,
only
no,
one
no.
spot.
If anything, Jinbei is a
Maybe you
bench
drop
player right
him.
now. He's a role player on this team. He's not really like trying to take the spotlight from anybody. He's a supporting character on the crew. Like that's literally what he's here for. So if anything, I feel like he would be okay with coming off the bench.
So then then if not,
So who takes that last spot?
I feel like Nami has to be in the starting five.
The Frankie and Nami.
Yeah, Frankie
Yeah,
and
I say
Nami.
Frankie Nami.
Frankie Nami is okay with me.
And then Jinbei off the bench.
Fair. He's the sixth man.
Yeah, I'd say he's
And that's you can. Ooh, we forgot about Chopper. Nah, I'm putting
Chopper
Jinbei over
6 man.
Chopper.
I'm gonna put Chopper 6 man.
Chopper's clutch as hell, but there's a lot of clutch role players.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
One might say Usopp is the most clutch player because the series would not continue if he didn't make that shot.
Usopp
in
is
Dressrosa.
Brunson. He just comes in the fourth and drops
Chill,
like
don't say that.
If he didn't make that shot, there's no One Piece, bro. This series ends.
Nah, he's like that. He's like that wing. He's a wing defender, and he's 3-and-D off the bench. That some days he's on point with his shot, other days he's not, but he'll still be reliable.
He's Ray Allen. He's Ray Allen.
Chill.
Well,
Ray
look
Allen
at-
used to be a fucking beast. Maybe Ray Allen like on.
Well, think about Usopp.
Celtics and Heat.
Usopp's assists go unnoticed, but they are incredibly important. Even on Wano.
Ray Allen made one of the best shots of all time to save LeBron James's legacy, and he did the same thing for Luffy.
Yeah, on Wano, Usopp saved the samurai. He also destroyed the comms that would allow Kaido's team to communicate with each other easily.
I mean, he has came in clutch in a lot of scenarios.
He does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He's like cleanup guy. He really saves the day in unsexy ways, I guess.
Yeah. We can't forget Robin. I won't. She's too clutch. She can read the poneglyphs.
Yeah.
She can read
Luffy
the
deadass would not be able to be the king of the pirates.
She did solo Toby Roppo as well.
She did solo Toby Roppo.
A high ranking one, too.
One of the stronger ones has to be.
Fuck, dude. This is tough.
Yeah, this should be a pre-show chat show discussion. We come in with next week. We come in with our proposed 5-man.
Yeah, let's think
lineup.
about this a little bit more next week. For next week.
Okay.
Because we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
The problem is that every straw hat is incredibly useful. It is like a lot of people clown on Usopp these days, but they don't make it this far without Usopp. They really don't.
All the straw hats matter. Let's be
Exactly.
clear.
That's what I'm saying.
They're a championship team.
Yeah, every single
They
time.
didn't win it yet, but we know they are, right? So
Every single time, every player is valuable.
they're stacked top to bottom. That's
For
why
real.
they're elite.
Yeah, their
They're
GM is
superstar
incredible,
players.
and they keep bringing them back on.
Yeah, they're relentless.
They keep getting re-signed, and it's like, how does this happen?
because the people that's taking the low deals for to take to save the cap, they getting that money under the table. Just like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
They keep trying to get people to join the crew too. They keep trying to form a super team, but nah, the Straw Hats, they stay honest, bro. They stay honest with the core that they have. They're not just letting any of these superstars join their squad just because they're good. You know what I mean?
They'll let Law do a stint.
Yeah, they'll let Law do a stint. They
and
won't
they
let
could go.
Yamato in.
They're not going to
They
overpay
won't-
for Law.
The only player they missed out on, who's Harrison Barnes for the Golden State Warriors because he got traded away after the first championship. Is Vivi.
Well, Vivi's coming back.
The one I got away.
They still they're still trying to get Vivi.
Nefertari.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the actual the Netflix actress that does Vivi.
Yeah.
Yo, she is gorgeous, man. I'm shamelessly, man. I was watching that show, and when she's like talking and like in the picture for most of the time, I'm just like, like, wow, this is a gorgeous actress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we haven't talked
like,
about live
holy
action
shit.
One Piece. Do we
Yeah,
want to?
everybody that cried about her casting, yeah, like wow,
Yeah.
like you should just watch it and
Yeah.
watch your learned racism disappear. Watch it dissolve.
Yeah. We'll talk about One Piece because I actually haven't finished the season yet. But we'll talk about live action One Piece later. Brian, were those all your thoughts? I don't know if we really like finished.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
it.
We started talking about the starting five.
Yeah, dragging it. This last week. It's all right.
It's okay. I'll do my thoughts really quick. I really like this chapter. I can't give it the RGC just because of the timing. I feel like it's unfair to the chapters of this week. But I would if it
I
was last
wasn't
week.
even thinking about that.
But yeah, it was very cool. I mean, you know, I love a Frankie moment. Frankie is probably my favorite Straw Hat right now. It's interchangeable. It happens. I feel like my favorite Straw Hat has changed a bunch of times, but Frankie is my favorite and has been for like the last couple arcs. You know how I feel about Usopp. I don't want to really go through a whole spiel about how I feel about Usopp and the concept of this is this person's arc. I don't buy that. That's not what One Piece was about ever, really. It's I don't believe that, at least. It's no arc is this guy's arc, even though, like, I guess I think Whole Cake Island really ruined it for a lot of people because Oda came out and said, like, this is the year of Sanji. And, like, you shouldn't have said that, bro. Not everybody is going to want everyone to have a different arc. But, yeah, one thing I have heard the streets talking about the Domi Reversi situation with how Dory and Brogy were turned back into their regular selves. And there's a lot of claims of inconsistency, you know, of like, well, if this worked for Dory and Brogy and they came back fully healed, then why didn't Rox come back fully healed? The answer to that question is that that's not what happened here. Brogy is still missing his arm. So what happens when you get reverted back, when you deal a fatal blow against a Domi Reversi and you get flipped back, is that you return to the state that you were when you got turned. So when Rox got turned, he was already like really hurt by Emu, and he was like suffering a lot of wounds, and he didn't die, but he was killed by Garling in the end.
I think that you could. I would add on to that and say that Rox like got destroyed, right? Like I mean, they didn't like just like behead him simply or something like that. They eradicated him. So maybe perhaps because of the destruction.
Well, he came back with the exact wounds he had, which were already pretty fatal. He got like impaled a couple times by Emu before he
I
was
guess
turned.
people are upset about that because people be getting impaled all the time and
Yeah.
pull it down.
But Brogy and Dory didn't really suffer a lot of damage before they were turned. The only thing is that Brogy lost his arm. And that's still the case. He still doesn't have his left arm. If you look closely at the panel where he comes back, you see the stump there. So that's why they're fine. And that's why they're able to move and such, is that they were reverted to where they were before they were turned. And they only had that damage, which was very little because they didn't fight very long before they were turned. So yeah, there's that. I think that Domi Reversi probably works a little different if you have the mark. And that's like Harold's case as to why when he was absolutely destroyed by Loki, he died pretty immediately. I think it's probably a little different if you're marked by Emu. And the connection's a little stronger.
Well, Zoro better be careful and not put fucking, Conqueror's hockey and his sword slashes, these guys might not come back.
They'll come back, because as long as they weren't killed in their regular form, they'll be fine. But that's really the only thing I wanted to address. This chapter was pretty sick. I'm ready to move on if you guys are.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
Bloody cross.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 251, Freedom. This chapter has a color page as well. Last we left off with them, Shishiba and Osarugi were locked in battle with the lightning guy, and now one of the brand new JAA assassins that has been enlisted by the order. One of them was a mother who had like a baby who was also a killer, and she showed up to the fray, and she's fighting Osarugi. We have this two-page color spread that is pretty realistic depictions of Osarugi and Shishiba, as realistic as the Sakamoto Days author can draw, I feel. And it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, very, very nicely drawn.
So a lot of this chapter is action. Osarugi immediately launches this mom assassin through the wall, and she uses her fucking saw as a wheel to propel them forward through multiple walls, which, you know, is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking sick.
I knew that was gonna be a hit with the new Jump City cast.
Yeah. So yeah, they go back and forth here or there. Osarugi manages to cut. Oh, the mom assassin manages to cut a faucet and spraying water over Osarugi, and she reveals that she secretly mixed poison into the building's water tank. So all of the water in the building is mixed with this poison that paralyzes Osarugi temporarily. And the mom assassin just basically heats up her knife and slowly approaches her and just starts cutting her back like crazy. And while also scalding it hot. And she's like, "Ooh, was that too hot? Let me cool you off." And just starts drowning her in the tub. And she's just yelling.
Toxic water.
Yeah. And she's like, "How dare you call my child creepy?" Meanwhile, this baby, who is an assassin itself, it shoots people, is in the background going like, "Goo goo gaga, yeah, I'm a baby and I like this."
Literally.
And we get this little flashback from Osarugi's perspective where she's remembering a time where Shishiba asked her what she would do if she weren't an assassin. And she's like, "Am I bad at killing?" He's like, "No, it's just I was the one who dragged you into this world." He's like, "Anyway, dumb time to break it up. Forget I said anything." And Osarugi asks Shishiba, is like, "If I weren't around, what would you do, Mr. Shishiba?" And then she answers herself as she's drowning. She's like, "Shishiba will be all alone." And she's still drowning. Her hand goes limp for a second. And then all of a sudden, Mom Assassin notices that the water level is going down. And I think she's just like she drank the toxic water to lower the water level so she wouldn't drown anymore. And then the Mom Assassin's like, "This girl's crazy," and tries to cleave her with her cleaver. And but Osarugi grabs the blade with her bare hand. And it doesn't really affect her. It affects her, but she doesn't feel it because she's numbed from the poison. And then she immediately crushes the Mom Assassin's windpipe. And that's where the chapter ends, as she's thinking, "Don't go off alone. I won't let you go." And that's where Sakamoto Days ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 251?
This was a pretty crazy chapter.
Right?
I don't know. It's hard to kind of put in words. I was just surprised, like the way the fight went down. I don't know why I just immediately wrote off this like assassin lady. You know what I mean with the baby. I just figured, Osarugi,
Osarugi, yeah.
Osarugi was just gonna make light work of her and do something cool, and that would be it. But I mean, she poisoned the water supply in the building. I mean, damn, what if she had just knocked them outside the building? Whatever. It didn't happen. So she took advantage. I mean, it's just a crazy fight. Osarugi drank the water in the tub.
Yeah.
Is that like what's implied?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. They tell her, she's like, oh my God, she drank the toxic water.
And then broke this lady's throat. Like,
Yeah. She drank the water to bring down the water level so she could breathe again.
I like the moment of her and Shishiba talking.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it kind of helped. I think the author was giving us a little bit of insight on kind of like a point he's trying to get across about the whole assassin setup in general.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm doing too much, but I feel like it's a bit of an allegory for, I guess, people who feel constricted and in a box, like in general. So it was a really insane way, from my point of view of like expressing that, and that's kind of what they're fighting for. It's not like they're fighting for justice or anything like that. And it helped me kind of understand their motivations. I think, and they're fighting to, I guess, be free and have a normal life, or to like wonder what a normal life could be, instead of doing what they've just been trained and known to do their whole life. So whatever. I thought it was interesting. Brian, what are your thoughts?
The action was fucking awesome, as per usual with the series. Man, I forget how cool these two characters are until they come around and they fucking steal the show every time they're on screen. Like Osaragi and Shishiba are just such a good combo of characters. And they're very, very entertaining whenever they're around. So it's always a blast to see them do their thing, because they bring the assassin to the assassin in this series. You know what I mean? Like Sakamoto doesn't kill, and everybody around him pretty much doesn't kill. But these guys, they don't have that moral compass. They will fucking murk somebody, and they're the closest to actual assassins that we get from a protagonist side of the story. So seeing them do their thing and be cold-blooded and have like an actual life and death fight, it adds more to the series in a way, because when you see the main cast fight, you just know that there's not going to be death on that side, but on this side it is like somebody could possibly die, and it could be anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just don't know what to expect when it comes to Shishiba and Osaragi's fights. So I really appreciate it whenever they're around, and this is a great way for her story arc to kind of end, with her and Shishiba kind of deepening their bond with each other, so to speak. But yeah, that's all I got to say about this one.
Nice. I don't have too much else to add. I don't remember if they ever really revealed these two's backstory and how they met. Do you guys remember?
I think they may have, but it's been a while. I don't remember much of it.
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't recall at all. Like, they've had a couple of fights and a bunch of focused moments with them, but nothing in terms of a flashback. And I wonder if we're gonna get that going forward as this battle with them continues. I'm pretty sure this mom assassin lady is dead, but I wonder if Osaragi is going to continue on fighting. I wouldn't be surprised if she just like stops here because she's
Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
poisoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the action was cool. I mean, it's always cool when Sakamoto does like something really creative with its weapons, like using a buzzsaw as like a wheel. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I also like the conviction of just like drinking the toxic water so that she could win this fight.
Bonkers.
Yeah, very much Sakamoto. So, but you guys said everything I really wanted to say, so I don't really have anything to add. Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Sure.
go. Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm gonna pass this one over to Josh.
Thanks, Chris. This is Kagurabachi, chapter 115, Swordsmith. So there was a chapter for Kagurabachi last week, but there's actually a point later in the comic where I can introduce the context of last week instead of starting to talk about it now. So I'm gonna just start off with this chapter. So we are at the Datenseki Research Center, laboratory number 6, not 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1. Just to,
Specifically
so we all
6, just so everybody
know.
knows.
Yeah, important stuff there. We've got Mr. Hasumi and one of his lackeys. He has a mask on his face.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Interesting.
hell that's about.
Probably a strong guy.
I'm a strong guy.
Yeah, with a mask. It's quirky. And they are giving audience to their guest, and his name is Subaru Urita. He is a sushi chef and also a swordsmith. And he's also the master of the sand and bone one blade style, so he gets busy too. Triple threat.
He is also the future wielder of one of the enchanted blades.
Yeah, right. I wasn't 100% sure on that, but
Yeah, he is.
now that you said it, that means it's definitely true. So they start to say how he wears 3 hats, and Subaru says, "I wear one hat. A jack of all trades is a master of none. I would never do that.
Never. You never catch me doing that.
So I ain't one of them." So it says sushi encompasses everything as he makes this grasping gesture with his hand. Making sushi, forging swords, the art of the blade, they are all nigiri, which is, I guess in Japanese, to say grasp. But there's a little thing here. I guess I'll read it. Nigiri means grasp and is the verb applied to making sushi. It can also be applied to gripping a sword. Interesting. Nigiri. Play on words, perhaps?
Yeah.
This guy's a poet, too. But I won't say he wears 4 hats. I don't want to get cut.
Oh, 4-hat Subaru. Don't want to say that.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it. Don't tell him I said it. He's going to get mad at me.
Yeah, that was AI if you heard otherwise. Yeah, so all right, so he's getting all, he's getting all intense about his art and shit. So the what's their name? What's their organization?
Oh, Kaminabi?
Kaminabi. Yeah, the Kaminabi dudes is like, look, we performed extensive research on the tremendous energy produced by the Datenseki. That's that, super powerful ore, that little rock they got. The issue is that activating it is tantamount to suicide, and that's because if you pour enough of your spirit energy in it to try to activate it, immediately a surge of spiritual energy will shoot back into you and blow you the fuck up as a reaction. Pretty intense. So they're trying to figure out ways to divert that spirit energy that rushes back to your body so that it's not so much to the point that it destroys you, similar to batteries and the like. And they're saying how they believe Orita, being the masterful swordsmith he is, can figure out a way to figure out the energy siphon with the Danseki. And he says it's based on the fact that his swords are compatible with spirit energy, the ones that Subaru makes. And it was like, the secret, according to your book, is that the materials are absolutely critical. So you give several examples of materials that are excellent conduits of spirit energy. He goes along to like talk about all the different materials that could be used as conductors. And he's like, I'm hoping you could illuminate us on the, on how you view the Danseki based on your research. And Subaru tells them, you won't find any evidence. It's utter hogwash. Guess what? That book was cap. I lied because I don't want to give my secrets away. And that's not an exaggeration.
No, that's basically what he said.
Yeah. And he said, it's my secrets. And I just did that shit to sell books. It'd be like that. So one of the dudes is like, hold on, wait, if the materials don't matter, then how do we forge a sword that conducts spirit energy? And Subaru is like, it's because I make it.
It's because it's me.
Yeah, it's something I do, right? So right after he says that, Subaru throws a pencil super fast at the masked dude, and right before it hits his face, he cuts it in two with his sword. We don't even see his sword swing. That's how fast it was. Pretty
cool.
Pretty dope. Yeah, pretty cool. And he's like, what the? Subaru's like, you're a good sword fighter. Come over here. And he's thinking, damn, like, was that necessary? Like, what if I messed up? You would have died for not being a good sword fighter.
It was literally right here.
And I want to believe that because it stuck into the wall, that means it was sharp enough to pierce his fucking, like,
oh yeah.
skeleton.
Oh yeah.
It was enough to lobotomize him.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty bugged out. And I'm going to keep that in mind about Subaru for the remainder of this series. That he did that. So, yeah, he's like, look, come take one of the swords I got, and I want you to see if you can feel like a difference, right? So as he starts to hand the sword over to the masked swordsman, one of the Kaminabi research dudes or whatever is like, oh, so the difference is only in technique, as if the quality of artisanship wasn't enough. Beyond that, he can alter the material's actual conductive spirit energy. So he's wondering, is that how like this shit works? And then as the masked swordsman starts to draw one of Subaru's swords, the guy that was just thinking that to himself looks down at his arm and notices that it's been slashed, and he screams out in pain and agony. And then he realizes that his arm actually wasn't sliced. That was just the spiritual pressure from him unsheathing the sword. That's Ooh, just move forward. We'll talk about it later. unless you guys can't help yourself.
No,
right now.
I can wait.
Okay, so yeah, he's like, oh, just drawing the blade altered the whole atmosphere. It must have been terrifying for these academics with no battle experience, So the master was like, how? And Subaru's like, look, when lightning strikes, it seeks out places of high electrical conductivity. Chris knows that because he did electric work.
I'm still in the biz.
Right. So, thin air, high humidity, these are things that lead to, high conduction.
Most buildings have a lightning protection system where they put like a giant lightning rod up there, and it goes to ground wire that goes all the way down to the ground.
And just cancels it?
No, it just redirects it to the ground.
And then when it goes to the ground, it like just dies?
Yeah, then it just dies.
Because electric moves don't affect ground types.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. You remember that in your leaf green round.
I know. I do actually. I remember. I'm not that out of Pokemon that I don't remember.
Oh, all right.
All right.
He knows ball is what he's trying to say.
You know, I'm not that big a noob. I know that electricity doesn't work on ground types, okay?
What's super effective
Just
against
because you
poison type.
schooled me earlier about having too many Pokemon, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
You just spreading it. You spreading all the experience.
I've grinded every one of them individually to be of equal or like except for War Turtle. He's the strongest one, but
Well, we're gonna address your Pokemon journey in the next pre-show.
yeah, I've been talking about pre-show
for every main show.
Yeah,
so y'all can listen up for that. Anyway, let me continue on with this chapter. So, speaking of electricity, he explains how he basically carves veins of spirit energy into the swords that he makes, similar to like the veins of like lightning, so that basically with the direct purpose so that the energy flows in such a way to just like predominantly to cut, like all of the spirit energy flows in a way to help the sword cut anything it wants to cut, hence why this guy felt his arm get sliced off in that moment, because the spirit energy probably sent shockwaves to his fucking brain. His anyway, I said that we would wait. So he's like, that's why my blades have the pristine ability to slay
Queen.
Right. So he was like, look, he's like, so if the Daten Seki produces immense levels of spirit energy, if I create the appropriate veins, it should be possible to control it. Okay. So I could probably bring to life a truly enchanted blade. And yeah, say that again. So
Wait, say that again. Enchanted blade. Say it again. Enchanted blade.
he did the whole scene. I just like doing the head turn.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Are we chronically online? Yes or yes?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the chapter still. Right after that super epic explanation of how he creates his spirit swords, they feel a presence in the darkness, and it's Shiba teleporting him out of nowhere with two people that and unannounced to anybody. So they were met with swords at their throats immediately. Whoops. So they're like, Shiba, what are you doing here? And the little homie that was with them is like, I tried to stop him. Hell, damn. Under the bus. And he's like, hang on, let me at least introduce you. And he has Kunishige Rokuhiro with him, which is Chihiro's father. And in this moment is where I'm going to take the time to briefly go over what happened last week. So, yeah. Mr. Shiba and his little homie, forgot his name already. Mashiro. Thank you. You guys are gentlemen and scholars. They basically pull up to where Rokuhiro lives, and we get to learn a little bit about his background. He's just a fucking weirdo. There's no other way to put it. He's super obsessive about his work to the point that he'll starve himself and all of that, and doesn't make a lot of money from his work either. But I mean, Shiba has a lot of respect for this guy. I mean, they pull up to his crib, they look in the fridge, and I mean, I think that's rotten Napa cabbage and an empty egg carton in his fridge.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I forgot we're not all looking at this chapter. My bad. Yeah. I was. Yeah, they pull up on him, and he looks like a bum, but he gets the Datenseki and goes into fucking super locked in mode. So everyone, Mashiro understands, like, all right, this guy's serious. This motherfucker throws the fucking Datenseki to the ground, but he just shatters the case that I was in, and he was able to immediately like figure out like a lot of its properties and like what can be done to manipulate it. And that's the gist of it. So we can get right back to this week's chapter. So Mr. Shiba pulls up with Mashiro and Rokuhiro right after Rokuhiro was able to do a few tests with the Datenseki, which really grinds the gears of the Kuminabi brass, just to put that out there. They're mad. But Mr. Shiba wants Rokuhiro to meet the brass, and he goes to shake Subaru's hand because he's a big fucking fan. And he's like, oh, like who are you? Like what's your name? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm skipping ahead. I got messed up from switching the chapters. My bad. They shake hands, Rokuhiro and Subaru, and he could just notice like off rip that he's made like a ton of katanas because of his nigiri. Oh, that's
nigiri.
I know Japanese words. So and Rokuhiro's like, yeah, I've made like maybe like 200. And one of the guys is freaking out. It's like, no fucking way, you're too young. And you're only supposed to make 2 a year anyway. So that means you were breaking the rules. And I fucking hate my life. So Rokuhiro's like, can't argue with that, man.
And I'm a fucking hater.
Yeah. So Mr. Shiba tells him to go share his findings, and he starts writing out about all he learned about the Datenseki. And the Kaminabi brass are just blown away. They're like, wow, this is all shit we know already. How the fuck do you know it? Someone must have told you. So, they was really upset about it, and they threw Shiba and him in jail. But the guy that threw them in jail started thinking about it a little bit deeper, and he was just like, yo, there's no way this kid could have found all of that out. I only had one phone call. You know what I'm saying? So, like it wouldn't have been able to, like, he said he specifically didn't tell Mr. Shiba or Mashiro because that nigga's a big mouth and will tell Shiba everything. So he's like, man, maybe this kid really did figure this shit out. Maybe. So Mashiro, because he's a snitch ass bitch, he's not locked up and he's walking around free as a bird because he sang. Oh, that's why they say he sang. Maybe is that what it comes? Sing like a bird because birds are free because they snitched.
Yeah.
I'm thinking too hard. I don't think that's really it, but whatever.
Well, birds sing. Free as a bird.
They do. I don't think that's why that's the same.
Yeah, I think it's free as a bird is like you're flying, and birds are unrestricted by being tied to the ground.
Right, but you can't do all of that if you're in jail. So if you snitch,
if you sing, well, if you sing, it's just like that. I think the singing is more of that's how much you snitched, is that you might as well sang them the whole thing.
Oh,
this guy,
that's rough.
This guy didn't even just talk to us. He sang about you. He sang about everything you did.
So that's Mashiro. And he deserves what he's about to feel because Subaru pulls up on him out of nowhere and then pulls the sword from out of the sheath behind him. And he's like, why is that man unknown? Talking about Rokuhiro. And he's like, apparently he's super selective about who he sells his katana to. And so that's also why he's starving to death. So Subaru laughs too, and he's like, cheeky punk. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter. Mashiro says, I thought he was going to kill me with a star. And yeah, good. All right. That's the end of the chapter. Brian, what are your thoughts?
RGC.
This was also my RGC, just not for nothing. What about you, Josh?
Yeah. RGC.
Hey, unified.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Pretty sick chapter. I really like this Joji guy that got introduced. He has a pretty cool design. I don't know if that's a mask or if he's like Tokoyami or something like that. I don't know what's going on. But he's a pretty cool designed character. I like that. I always thought of this character to be like kind of a tall guy, but Subaru is actually kind of like short.
Yeah,
if you
he
look
is.
at him compared to everybody else. I feel like that's pretty interesting. I'm curious what the dynamic between him and Rokuhira are going to be, purely because they're both swordsmiths, and Kunishige seems to be a very food-oriented person, and this guy likes to make sushi. So there's a chance that maybe the makings of the enchanted swords was more of a collaborative effort than we originally thought. But I really like this chapter because of the combination of this chapter and the previous chapter. Because I really like that. So when we first see Kunishige in the beginning of the series, we see that Chihiro was always like taking care of him and stuff like that, right? And now with this recent, like with this flashback, you get to see just how much of a fucking slob this guy was before Chihiro came into his life and brought like so much order and so much tidiness and structure to his life.
Good point.
So it really shows that he was literally hopeless without somebody to take care of him. If he didn't have somebody there to cook for him, he would literally die. And it just goes to show that, you know, this guy was all about swords. Swords was legit his entire fucking life. And to kind of continue, something I didn't notice my first read around was when Shiba and them showed up. This guy really likes to do very subtle like storytelling and like really small dialogue. Because like at the end of the chapter, I was like, why did he go straight to the sword? How did you know that the sword was Kunishige's? But when they come in, you see he's like, this is Kunishige Rokuhira. He forges katana. And in the small text, not in a bubble, you see him pull out Mashiro's sword and it says he made this. So if you're not really paying attention to like every detail that he goes to show, you don't really get the full picture of what he's cooking, which is really interesting. Like even the words that aren't in a bubble are still kind of important to you know how characters act in the future, because that small little detail there is a big reason, is like a kind of main focus towards the end of the chapter too. Man, I don't know, something about the way that this guy, he doesn't waste anything when it comes to writing this manga. Everything is used to the fullest extent. The way characters act, the way that they display actions, the way that they move their, like, you know, demonstrate things. Everything is important to the story. So it just makes you want to pay attention to everything. You want to read the whole chapter from beginning to end. You know, it keeps you focused, which is interesting. You know, like there's not a lot of fat here. It's very lean, a very lean series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very packed with content when you read it. So there's a chance that you miss something. And I really appreciate that about this series. So those are my thoughts. This flashback is off to a roaring start. I'm really, really, really curious to see how things kind of develop from here. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously I thought this chapter was tremendous. I really like Subaru. I think he's a really cool character already. I one thing I really noticed is Rokihira Kunishige seems to have like that same kind of, and I don't know if this is like really the parallel they're trying to draw from like his more present self, but he is him. I wonder if him being selective over who he sells swords to is kind of a carryover to his sense of responsibility when creating the enchanted swords. I wonder if he still has like kind of that same cognizance of that responsibility that he has to not just like give swords to anybody. That whoever he sells swords to, he has to be sure that they'll be somewhat responsible before he gives them to him, because they're swords. And I guess the idea that he'd rather starve than to just like allow his creations to do maximum harm if he can help it, at least, because you can't really ever control somebody completely. But I have a feeling that's kind of the case. Rokihira is like, although he is completely irresponsible in other forms of his life, he doesn't play about the dangers that swords actually have. So I think that's funny. I really like the idea that like Kunishige is out here just goodwill hunting the Kamunabi. He just comes in and he's just like all on the chalkboard talking about swords. I thought it was a funny moment. I'm so curious to see what sword Subaru gets. I wonder what his powers are gonna be.
Sushiomi.
Yeah, his sword turns into a sushi, and it's delicious, and it makes people not want to fight anymore. I also second that notion you said, Brian, is like maybe I wonder if like the actual creation of the enchanted blade is more of a collaborative effort than we've been led to believe. Because I can't imagine
this is more propaganda.
I would believe that maybe Kunishige kind of figured it out, like how to actually create the swords out of the ore himself, and he just kind of picked up some things from Subaru. That he probably like surpasses Subaru in that regard. But yeah, I mean, it'll obviously be a little more collaborative. But this was fun, and I like the explanation of how enchanted swords work, or like the light version of enchanted swords. I'm excited to see what comes of this flashback. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and it has been delivering. So,
Real quick, I just want to mention, like when they both get thrown into prison, like Shiba and Kunishige, you know that Kunishige is pissed off that he didn't get food.
Yeah.
That's why he's like Shiba.
Yeah. Shiba.
Shiba, come on, bro.
I'm so hungry.
You know that's the first thing he's gonna complain about here.
Yeah. But those are all my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
Says Shiba, you lied. I don't know what more to say that hasn't been said already. I'm really interested in them breaking down how he makes these swords. I have the suspicion that this is going to go the route for those that know of Hitman Reborn. So they all had like these rings that turn into something more eventually than just rings. I don't want to spoil too much, and I think it might be a similar situation where maybe not everything will be just a katana, right? That's just me guessing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, maybe it'll just be regular swords, but those are just some thoughts I had. But that's why I'm interested in the process of the sword making, because that'll inform us whether there's potential for that or not. And I think that he's going to go out of the author's going to go out of his way to drop hints about, what Chihiro, because whatever he could do, it has to be possible. And it should be built off of what has been done and what can be done.
Mhm.
So, I think it'd be a lot cool if he put the groundwork in this while he was doing the groundwork for what to expect while he's doing this flashback, which I think it's clearly he's going to do. So that's really all I have to say. Shout out to the Masked Man. Shout out that he didn't die. Shout out that he was on it immediately when when Shiba pulled up. He gotta stop doing that shit. He had 2 people with him. You know what I mean? They're not like that.
Yeah.
Rokuhiro wasn't even armed. That's not fair. You can't just be telling people. He's wilding for respect. That's all I'm saying. That's your man's, Brian.
This is my goat.
Yeah, tell him to deal with that.
If anything, I like him even more with this flashback so far. Is that crazy to say? I like his character.
No, it's cool. It's funny. It's because it shows that he's not as buttoned up and together as he does. He doesn't have it all together in his mind. He's just very earnest about.
He's way more bold than he is currently, like in the current part of the series, which is strange because right now he's doing a lot of just flying by the seat of his pants type shit,
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if he's recklessly teleported any people in the regular series, but I don't remember.
I don't think so. Every time he's been involved, he's always been very measured, it seems. Unless he has to take on the fucking take on some shit. Like what's the name of Hakuri's family? The Sazanami?
Yeah.
No, but that was fighting.
Yeah, unless he gotta actually roll up his sleeves and fight, he'll do it. But for the most part, he doesn't really, get into the mix unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, notice how he didn't use his special move of dropping you into an inconvenient headquarters full of swordsmen attack, because I think he knew that the Sazanami was gonna fry whoever he teleported them to.
Yeah.
So he knew that he couldn't use that ability, but he still figured it out, and that's why he's the goat.
Goat.
All right, that's all I gotta say.
All right. Well, if that's all, then I guess we could move onward, right?
Yes, sir. Get that man Rokuhiro a plate.
Yeah.
Oh wait, one more thing. These guys aren't Kamunabi, by the way.
Oh. Well.
They're the Sorcery Bureau, or they're part of the government itself. The Kamunabi doesn't exist yet.
Oh, right. Yeah, they were made after the war, right?
Sorry, I only just realized that.
It's okay.
Well,
Because the Swordmaster guy, he was just like, who's in charge here? Like, what's this organization or some shit? Like, he didn't know about the Kamunabi.
Yeah, he didn't. That's interesting. I didn't even catch that, honestly.
Because this guy says, I can't read his handwriting, and then the other guy goes, hang on, is this guy with the Sorcery Bureau? If the Kamunabi existed, he would have just said Kamunabi.
I remember.
The Sorcery Bureau.
Right. So just say, look at that. You see, the more that you read it, you just miss some shit. You know what I mean? You can miss some shit.
Yeah.
They were not the Kamunabi yet. Am I saying it wrong?
No, you're not.
No, you're saying it right.
All right. Please let me know.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's move on to the next guy.
Bitches get shot, it get heavy. Gra.
Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo.
Oh.
This is last week's chapter and also the last chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Chapter 25.
Ooh, I've been waiting.
A Bright Future. Okay, so last we left off, things seem to have been mostly resolved.
De-escalated.
Yeah, de-escalated severely. Dabra was able to cure his sister of the curse that the Diskunte chief put on his sister, and then went on to kill the Diskunte chief, and then also abdicate responsibility from being chief, because he actually doesn't know anything about politics. He's just like, I just want to build this statue, and then you guys can figure out how you want to be governed, which I guess is nice when you think about it. You could pick your own chief, and maybe it'll be democratically elected. How about that? And
figure it out, guys.
Figure it out. And then
I'm gonna go be strong somewhere.
Yeah, we saw Cross and Maru, before their people explaining the situation, and they decided to live amongst the Kallians, even though the Kallians will now probably not be as friendly towards them, because the problem this entire time is that Cursed Spirits, Kallians, and the Rumelians all had similarly colored souls, so they all registered each other as kind of the same. So now that that's different, thanks to the efforts of Itadori and Maru, and also Mahito, they were able to eradicate the cursed spirits for the most part from Japan. There's still always going to be cursed energy and cursed spirits to some degree, but it was agreed that Itadori would be kind of the deterrent for most cursed spirits until the day he dies 200 to 300 years from now. And we pick up where we left off as Itadori arrives with Panda, with a tiny panda version of himself, at Nobara's apartment, which was cool. This is a color page. That's nice. And we get to see Nobara's full face. That's nice. And then we get a 2-page spread, final chapter, color spread title thing that looks very nice. More niceness. This is a cool color page.
It is nice. It is really nice.
Very well drawn. I love the
enjoyed it.
colors. It's
Gorgeously
gorgeously
shark
drawn.
guy too.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be as positive as I can, because I know that it's not going to be pleasant going for this series.
All I'm saying is, if I'm by myself on this, I will never forgive you guys. Don't let me be the bad guy by myself, okay? That's all I ask.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, this is about the point where they decided that they're not just going to kill the Kallians just because they won't be so friendly towards them. They'll just figure something out, and they'll try to live amongst them still regardless. We then cut back to a flashback with Tsurugi and Yuka talking to their mom and basically explaining that, like, hey, you hid your illness from me until the last minute and ignored my wishes and accepted the duel. And then you went to fight an alien on your own. Just because it ended well doesn't make it acceptable. You should reflect on your behavior. And after the scolding, their mom also says, like, but you gave it your all. Giving birth to you is the greatest honor of my life, which is nice.
That was really nice.
And she says that, your grandparents would be proud of you too. And, their grandparents are Maki and Okotsu, and yes, they would be proud of them. So that's a nice little moment. We then cut back to Itadori, who is now taken off the hood, and we finally see his face. And he still looks extremely young, obviously, because he is effectively immortal at this point. So, they're...
he had that scar up top.
Yeah.
In the Naruto series?
Yeah, he had that scar, and he had the scar on his lip as well.
I remember that.
Both of these scars carry over, and cursed energy, reverse curse technique can't heal scars. So,
right.
So they explained that, like, they're kind of talking it over, and Itadori's talking about how, like, man, I was so scared of my friends dying that I just kind of disconnected from everybody. And, these kids have tried to do something that I should have done on my own. But, now I'm back and I won't lose sight of it. And I want you to help me, Kugisaki. And Nobara's like, okay, cool. Panda explains that he was dragged out so he wouldn't have to feel awkward alone. But his entire reason for being here disappeared in seconds. So Itadori immediately explains his plan for what's coming. Since there won't be any new sorcerers from now on, Nobara and Itadori are going to handle the countermeasures. They explained that cursed spirits must be exercised right after they're born before they get too powerful. So we got to teach the current sorcerers that are still here everything about barriers and exorcism techniques. So the Jujutsu sorcerers that are still alive right now, we got to maximize them as best we can because there won't be any new sorcerers going forward. The next part of the plan is that they need to hunt down everybody with heavenly restriction and map out their bloodline because they're probably going to be deterrents. They're going to be the actual new Jujutsu sorcerers that are going to have to keep things at bay. And then finally, but the next part is that they need to secure all of the mass produced cursed tools so that these heavenly restriction guys can fight cursed spirits if the need arises. And the final part is that when Itadori dies, he is going to be a cursed object, a lot like Sukuna. The idea is that if it gets too out of hand in the future when he's not around, 300 years from now, he will be around. So whoever is around at that time can consume him and gain all of his powers.
Well, no, what he's saying is he'll be around for the next 300 years.
Yeah.
And then after the 300 years, that's when he'll become a cursed object. And then anytime after that.
Well, he said when I die, I'll become a cursed spirit, which he estimates to be around 300 years from now.
Yeah.
But he says when I die, I'll become a cursed energy, cursed object. And then if cursed energy really becomes necessary, someone can eat me. So they're like, well, first of all, we got to find somebody who's crazy enough to just eat you, your dead body. And second, we don't actually even know how to make a cursed object. So, Itadori's like, well, we just got to figure that part out, I guess. And we got super duper confirmation that Fushiguro is dead. We don't know how he died.
Either dead or on vacation.
I guess it doesn't confirm he's dead.
Yeah, they didn't say he died. So. Not that it matters.
Yeah, not that it matters. This is the last chapter. And then we get a final scene at the baseball. Well, not final scene, but there's other things going on. We get a scene with Jabaloma. At least we get a final scene, a final Jabaloma scene. With Usami, I think his name was, as they're playing baseball and getting to know each other. And they're talking about, going forward. Usami explains that, he just got confirmation that all the cursed spirits in Tokyo have vanished. And he's like, just in case we should both keep the fact that sorcerers will no longer be born off record for the time being. Jabaloma says that there's still usable amount of mole left over on the Naonax. But unless we combine cursed energy and mole, it's a pretty weak bargaining chip. So, on top of this, the energy crisis will continue to progress. And now that they don't have cursed energy as a potential alternate source of energy, they're kind of fucked. So, provided that the world doesn't get destroyed by climate change and shit, Itadori will be able to become a cursed spirit, a cursed object. So, yeah, they're saying that the disadvantages of sorcerers not being around and that being used as a negative campaign against the Sumerians because we're afraid that we're weaker now, that we don't have sorcerers. Itadori, they flash back to Itadori telling, I guess, Usami to blame it all on him. If anybody says anything, just blame it all on me. Say that all Marulu did was follow my orders. And we see that apparently on the internet, someone has streamed the battle between Dabura and Dabura and Maharaga. And they liken it to the same thing that happened in 2018 with the battle against Sukuna, where Maharaga was also there. And it turns out that Uyui, along with his grandchildren, have streamed the battle with Dabura. and Maharaga. So, yeah. Tsurugi, Cross, Marulu, and Yuka also show up to the baseball park, and they ask him why they're playing catch today. And basically, it all comes down to, it's good to getting a little light exercise, get your blood flowing, but it's a form of communication, and it's time to get to know each other. It's a cultural exchange of sorts. Just playing a simple game of catch can bring people together. And that's the long and short of it. Marulu asks Tsurugi to teach them more about Earth and all of us. And Tsurugi says, sure. And the chapter really ends with Yuka talking to one of the ladies that helped cook the thing. And she's talking about how she's bummed out that Dabura left because he was so hot and she really wanted him. But then we hear a clack at the door and Yuka is surprised to see who it is. It's implied that Dabura came back to bag this lady, I guess. And that's where the chapter ends. And thus ends Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. Josh, what did you think about the final chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo? And you're muted, by the way.
Where to begin? Disappointed to say the least. I'll tell you this when the Crows was broadcasting the fight in 2086, against Dabura, I wonder if the people that was watching that broadcast was also really disappointed when all of a sudden it just stopped. I wonder if that was a meta way of like, are we the guy? Is that us?
I don't think
are we
so.
the reporter? All of us fans? Woo! I don't know. It's all right. It's all right because all right. I'm so annoyed with the fucking plan. That's honestly my biggest grief with all of this. I could see this, like, the ending is fine. Just to be honest, I mean, it's cool. I think what I said, me and Chris was talking about this last week, and not on the podcast or nothing, but saying how like this ending feels great. If it was like 20 chapters later, like with more content in between, it would have been a like perfectly fine last chapter. It is what it is, but like, man, it got cut short. But again, just to get back to my biggest grief, which is the plan, bro. They made a situation. All right, so they removed the cursed energy from people and removed the cursed spirits, but still, cursed spirits can still come out of nowhere. But Itadori is still alive, so he's gonna handle that, right? Mm-hmm. Like the very few that may pop up and be some type of threat to humanity, he'll be there to squash, right? Mm-hmm. So okay, cool. And then they introduced the issue about the heavily restricted sorcerers, and they got to map out each fucking bloodline, and then like just to find out, all right, who's who. Like, so they're gonna have this mass surveillance on all of these fucking people. So are they gonna develop superpowers and start wilding out like Toji? It's just like shaky as hell. Or maybe he's trying to set up what the next Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo will be. Dos Dulo. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's gonna be about. Now there's no more curse techniques. It's just I don't know, man. Whatever. The more I think about the plan, the more I just care less because it's over. That's it, man. I don't actually think that we're gonna get more Jujutsu Kaisen. They deaded the fucking Maharaga fight. I was annoyed. I wanted to wait. That color spread was beautiful, but I see Maharaga's fucking face at the top, and I'm salt.
I was reminded.
I am salt incarnate, bro. I am the sodium mines. You know what I'm saying? That inhabit this planet. I'm all of them. He could have at least finished the fucking fight. That's all. I don't want to just drag it. I don't want to only make it out the Maharaga fight. It's just that like they brought the fucking panda for what? So you could sell some panda toys? Fuck you, bro. Nigga said one thing. Ooh, nostalgia for a series that ended a year ago. I'm mad. What's Nobara's old ass gonna? I need your help, Nobara. And she's happy as hell. Get the fuck out of here, yo. What is she? I don't know. It's anime. Old people are OP. I could go on and on and on, but I guess I had to continue to riff because Brian needs to get that.
I'll go next.
But go for it, Chris, because I'm just rambling at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I would also agree that this is a fumbled ending. So, hey, Brian, I was gonna do my thoughts real fast, just because you were away. But yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings, and I conflict with myself a lot of this because, like Josh said, I think that this ending is fine. I think it's interesting that Itadori is like putting himself to the same fate that Sukuna did. He'd be, kind of a circular thing where he is also going to become, I suppose, a finger that somebody will have to eat.
But he won't be a mean person.
Yeah, he'll be a good finger.
He would help Junpei.
Yeah, he would help Junpei. But yeah, I mean, it really is the flaw that this series needed to be like 5 chapters longer, just 5, and I think it would have wrapped up nicely. Because I don't hate the ending. I think it's fine. I think it's interesting, and I think I do think Gege is intentionally leaving the door open for a new series because he has said in interviews that he is not stopping. He's going to make more manga. He would like to continue making more manga. And I think it's entirely possible he comes back in kind of an Avatar-esque way where, we just go through different eras of this world. Is that what's going to be the very next thing he does? I don't know. But the door is open enough that he could always return to this world. And if he does, then I guess that takes the sting out of this ending away a little bit. But yeah, it's a bummer of an ending because it's not a terrible ending. It's just an incomplete one. It feels like, and I feel like I was shortchanged on story a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a good story. I think there's a decent message in there, somewhere. It just stopped. It just kind of stopped, and that's the only bummer about it. But that's all I gotta say, really. I don't want to harp on Jujutsu Kaisen and Modulo because I feel like as time went on, my feelings, any negative feelings I've had for it have kind of dulled a little bit. I'm not stoked about this ending, but I'm not as perturbed by it as I was when I first read it. I'm hoping we see more Jujutsu Kaisen. I do love this world. I love this power system. I think it's a very unique thing that he's set up here. And yeah, let's see where it goes. I don't know if we ever come back to this world, but this is a farewell to Jujutsu Kaisen. I do want to update my Shonen Jump tier list for those who don't know and only listen for the manga segments. I have done a tier list of every single series currently running in Jump. Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo stopped at the top of my B tier list, and that is, I feel like, a decent place for it to retire. I think collectively it is very much just a top of B series. It stopped just short of reaching A. I can't deny that it was awesome for a good amount of time. But the ending really like stops it from being an A. So for now, Jujutsu Kaisen is no mo. I gotta reorder. I gotta remove it my own way. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen will be
you
removed.
can't just take it off.
Yeah, I can't. I guess I can't just take it off. Ugh, get out. No, not F. Definitely not F. I wouldn't say it's F. But next week we'll update the thing entirely, and this will have to be reshuffled a little bit. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen. Brian, what were your thoughts? Oh boy.
This almost certainly sets up a world where like the series comes back, like 100%, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
They're
about
setting up-
100%, but it leaves the door
I think
open.
100%.
It leaves the door
It's
open.
almost
for
certain
sure.
that the series is going to come back in an even further future. Very different from the JJK that we know, to the point that I feel like it'll be almost a completely different series.
Itadori
like
eats a finger from Itadori.
This series is starting to feel kind of like JoJo's a little bit, where it's going to be like generations of characters rather than a set cast, and it's just going to be a bunch of continuing stories from here on out, with maybe Itadori being the only reoccurring character from the past series, and just names of families being the one connection that we have. One thing I'd like to point out is that if you look at the color spread, the only the chef lady and Dabura are looking at each other.
Really? Oh, yeah, they are.
So it almost certainly means that Dabura is the one that showed up at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who else would be there? I think that's what they were setting up.
Nice little catch there. Although I am stunned. Not because of that detail, but I am just stunned with the level of cope coming from you right now, Brian. You're better than this.
How is this
You
code?
really are.
That is just a cope
All right, so-
by people with agendas.
I knew that was coming. All right, so this is what I want to do, Brian. I want you to honestly just think about it, and if you can take a moment to reflect and say that there's 0% cope in anything that you mentioned,
What am
then
I
I'll move
coping
forward.
about?
So that's a 0%. You're not coping about the end of Modulo, and this is your way. Instead of being violently upset on the podcast, you're like, you know what? There's an optimistic way.
I mean, it just doesn't feel like an ending to a series. It feels like
Right, because we got 25 chapters.
Yeah, it just
And half
feels
a
like
fight.
it feels like it's a setup for another series.
We got less than 2/3 of a fight, bro.
Okay.
Crunch on that.
Crunch on that.
I had to say that.
You said crunch on that?
Big time. I don't know what it is. Sounds good, bro. Whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you're not coping, but maybe there could be a sequel, but
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best ending of all time,
Okay.
but I'm not very upset about it. I could care less, to be honest.
I wouldn't bet on it. I'll tell you that personally.
I will
I wouldn't bet
say,
against it, but I don't think you'd bet on it either.
as far as sequel series go, I think it's still better than Boruto.
True.
You want to talk about a low bar? You ever heard the phrase "jump in the broom"? You know how the broom's on the ground.
Yeah. The bar is a
Some
bar.
I mean that. Yeah, bar is a bar.
The
And
bar's
you know
been
what?
set.
If I- there's
Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is the bar that all sequel series have to clear now.
Okay. Yeah. If the volleyball series of Haikyuu was out right now, the second, like when he was out in Brazil into like that pro tournament or whatever, that would have been Haikyuu True Blue Modulo.
BaiQ next Haikyuu generations.
Yeah,
You know what I would want? I would want a Haikyuu
We
spin-off
can do
series
better
about
than
the team that won the nationals.
Kamomeda? No, they didn't win, right?
No, it was some unknown team. They didn't even show any of the members of that team.
No, because
They
the
didn't show
people.
a single member of that team.
No, because the people who did win that team were characters. I think it was Akusa, the guy with the face mask. He won.
No. I'm talking about like at the end of like the nationals,
Oh,
the
I
team that
remember who won.
Bokuto faced. They didn't show a single player on that team. That team just won.
Well, wait, what are you talking about? When they were adults?
No, when they're in high school.
Who won? Haikyuu. Haikyuu. Who won nationals? Ichibayashi won. These characters, these characters did show up.
Did they? I didn't.
They did. They beat Fukurodani. They did beat Bokuto, but these guys. Oh, it's Kamomedai. What are you talking about?
No.
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
looking it up. They don't show. They only show them celebrating. They don't show who the players on the team.
you talking about
They're
after
all unknown.
after the kid went down, the main character.
Yeah.
That was rough too.
If you
That's
look
a
at the
rough way
wiki,
to-
they don't have a single character.
Oh, that's
name in
crazy.
there.
That's hilarious.
That's a rough way to end the first part of your series.
I didn't even realize. They beat both Kamomedai and Fukurodani. They beat. That's actually kind of nuts.
That's why I think it'd be fun to see their story. You know.
Fuck them, man. I don't want to see any. Sorry.
No members were given names. It's known they have a middle blocker and a captain wearing number 1, number 12, and a libero wearing number 15. In the manga, Ichibayashi is placed on the upper right side of the bracket as they face Kamomedai in the semifinals and Fukurodani in the finals. However, the anime has Fukurodani and Munjizaka placed on the right, with Ichibayashi supposedly on the bottom left.
Crazy how none of them become pro players either. They
Well-
just beat all future like Japanese Hall of Famers, gold medalists. And they just
Well, you
all
know, that's how it
become
goes
accountants.
sometimes. You know, there's great players that lose championships in their younger years. And then they go on to be Super Bowl winners and pro players. And, you know, that shit's
just funny.
real.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
I did it to myself, Josh.
That is a code.
It's okay. If Brian could do it, so can you, bro.
All right. Well, are we done talking about Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. boys.
Yeah. Oh no, I have one last thing to say. Sorry. One last thing to say. You brought up Boruto, so I'm gonna say this. That is like honestly, I think our leading theory, with at least between Chris and I, is that what happened was he had vacation time, and he was thinking about, man, maybe I'll just push through and finish my series. And then what happened was that he started reading Boruto, and realized that he didn't want to create he didn't want to entertain a reality where something that he's attached to turns into, you know what I'm saying, what Boruto has become. So in order to prevent all of those timelines, any of those infinite timelines where that's a possibility, he knit this shit at 25 chapters. And if that truly is the case, then respect. I get it.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one.
This is just some really murderous shit.
Dandadan. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Brian.
All right. Let me refresh myself on what happened last chapter. Oh, wait. Was Dandadan
There was
off
no
last week?
chapter last week. I remember. Right?
Okay.
Am I bugging on that?
No, you're not bugging. Actually, yeah, no,
Yes,
you are
no, there
bugging.
was a chapter.
last week.
There was a chapter before. Oh my God, was it a 2-page spread?
Oh shit. Okay. So essentially the squad went to an amusement park and there some guys are there to try to capture Okaroon. All right, so the chapter picks up. Yeah, so the chapter picks up from there as the crew having fun at the thing. Momo and Gigi kind of split up from the crew, and they start kind of bonding together, which makes Okaroon jealous. And then,
What's he doing?
what's her name? I keep forgetting her name.
Ira?
Ira calls over Okaroon, and then they start talking about dinosaurs, skeletons, and stuff like that. And she starts to bond with Okaroon, and that makes Ayase, that makes Momo jealous. So they split up, and the group continues to kind of break off into their own groups until it's just Ginta and Vamola. And they're kind of they're approached by this barber who who's being mad fucking creepy, and he's going after Ginta's cut. He's just like, you have a weird ass fucking cut. And Ginta kind of looks around to see who the fuck he's talking to. And he goes, yeah, you. He goes, you mean
Yes.
me? And then he goes, who else has a weird ass hairdo? And then Vamola goes, you do. And they start walking around. They walk away from this guy, but he keeps following him around, haggling him about his haircut, until he convinces Ginta to go sit in his chair. And he goes, all right, fine, you can cut my hair. Let's see. But if you make it weird, I'll see you in court. And Vamola's like, will you cut my hair too? And then she goes, I don't particularly desire to cut yours. You can wait outside. And Vamola steps outside, kind of sad. And she, I guess, smells something in the air, and it's food.
Takoyaki.
It's takoyaki, and then she runs over to go eat it. As we cut back to the barber shop with this, the guy is just completely ominous now. He's like completely shadowy. Both of them have an extremely like they have like a dead. Both of them have blank expressions over their face with a shadow casting over it, and he's looking into the mirror. And then Ginta goes, "Get to it, then." He goes, "Oh, sorry, we ended up in a staring contest." And he goes, and Ginta goes, "You think this is a joke? I'm missing out on valuable date time with Vamo-chan." And that's where the chapter ends. Chris, what are your thoughts?
You already know, bro. Oh, my goat Ginta is getting some fucking shine. The man himself. If this arc, if he's finally going to get an arc where he fights for himself, I'm going to be so stoked because this is the guy. He's the man.
Yeah, he's got to use
Did you
the
add
noun
a
act.
Ginta drop?
Yeah, I added a Ginta.
He just did that shit again.
You know what? Dare me to drop it a third time.
I'm surprised this wasn't-
I've been waiting so long because this has actually been on my soundboard for weeks.
I'm surprised this wasn't your RGC.
It's not yet, you know. It's
Not
boiling
yet,
up there.
right?
It's bubbling up there, and it's crazy because it's only like 2/3 of this chapter was dedicated to Ginta. So how much could it be my RGC really? No, but seriously, I am excited. I do, Vamola and Quinta are a fun pair. Quinta's face is just when he's sitting in the chair for the first time, he's just like, it's just such. The way he draws this guy, it kills me every time. I just love this character. I don't know, he just never fails to make me laugh. And he's also like a really cool fighter of the team. He has no spiritual powers. He uses basically all alien technology to fight. So he's kind of like a separation from the group. I don't know what this fucking barber's problem is. I don't know what he's supposed to be. But I'm excited to find out. One thing that last chapter that we didn't get to talk about is apparently Okaroon has the Pinocchio power. Apparently. Or at least it's implied by the way it ended. I don't know if that means that Turbo Granny is Pinocchio, or if Okaroon has a separate ability within himself that is the Pinocchio. But we'll probably find out this arc. But yeah, this is a fun chapter for me. I love Quinta. He's probably my favorite character in this series. So I'm eating good. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I'm perplexed about the Pinocchio situation, but I'm not going to think too hard about it. All I'm going to say is that Turbo Granny doesn't have like a long nose, and I thought she did, like kind of like a witch, but she doesn't. So I don't know. Whatever. What do I have to say about this chapter? So I think one of my favorite panels of the entire week was in this chapter is when he's like, when he's like, all right, so it's page 12, I believe. And he's like, huh? Like, you mean me? He's like, yes. Like, the barber's like, yes, you. Who else has a weird hairdo around here? And Vamola points to him, right? And he's like, and then, shit. What's your boy's name?
Quinta.
Quinta is like, yeah. And then in these next two panels to the left of that, he like averts his eyes to the left and then goes right back to saying, that's a weird hair. He reset. I thought that was hilarious. And then even just when he sat in the fucking chair and they were staring at, I guess, like the mirror, and this nigga was like, all right, like, I guess it's kind of lame or whatever. Like, he got him to fucking feel bad about himself. Talk about peer pressure. But, like, I don't think Quinta has any, I don't think, like, these guys are hunting people with, like, latent abilities. It's not that kind of series from what I see. So, I think if he really is about to be attacked, then this is not a genuine character update via haircut, like for Quinta, then they're probably gonna take him as hostage.
Yeah, but
he can't lose to this fucking noodle head nigga. Like what? I don't even know what's going on. I don't even like what's going on with his hair. It looks like Sanji's eyebrow a little bit. I don't know why that's making me think about that. Or a yo-yo. This shit's hypnotizing me. Don't stare at it too long, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, be careful. It was a nice chapter. I mean, I learned a lot more about dinosaurs than I thought I would after reading this Dandadan chapter.
Yeah.
I never thought about how weight could affect large creatures like that. I mean, like, not weight, but like the gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, if you're really large, gravity affects you more. Of course. Duh. It's tough. It's a lot of pressure on your bones and shit. If they really was walking up like that all the time, then I know their backs was killing them.
Yeah.
I relate. All right. I really have nothing more to say. Brian, any finishing thoughts?
Yeah. I don't have much to say except for I'm officially starting to get sick of this fucking cat and mouse shit with Momo and Okaroon. Just hurry up. You're getting to that point now. This whole amnesia shit did not need to happen. You're just milking the shit now. Let them be together already. Now you have officially gotten to that point, pal. You're finally there. Congratulations. You have done what every romance manga has officially done. You got me to the point where I just want it to be done at this point. Just let them be together, okay? It's that simple. We know that they're gonna end up together. You know that you're gonna be jealous. Just get it over with. All right? You've done this to as far as you possibly could. There's no way by the end of this arc they're not together. That's the end of my thoughts.
I see that's really rubbing you the wrong way, huh?
Yeah. Well, Brian, if you hate this kind of trope, there is a series currently running in Jump that actually kind of alleviates that for you. But I'm not going to spoil it.
What series is it?
I can't say it because it's a humongous spoiler for anybody who might want to read this series.
All right, well, tell me off camera then.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dandadan was pretty sick today. And with that, that was Dandadan, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.espn, ESP, not ESPN. On Twitter and Instagram. You can catch him where he's streaming at twitch.tv/itspunchline. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We did questions this week. There will be a pre-show chat show coming out. I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoy the show generally. That would be super cool. Sorry we missed last week, but I hope we made it up this time. We'll see you guys next week on New Jump City. Well, we're probably going to announce our next series that we're going to cover to fill Jujutsu Kaisen's shoes next week. So stay tuned. See you guys next week.
Okay.
Peace out, y'all. Stay tuned.
Bye.